Hi, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel. I've just popped down to the allotment this morning to open up because we're going to have some nice sunny days, and it's been really windy over the last few days, and but we've had a little bit of sunshine, but most of the allotment's been closed up over winter and so far, and so we're just opening up the beds now to give everything a good air in, and to really let that sunshine bring those plants to life. So I thought I'd just go a quick whiz round to show you, because it's the first time this year that I've really opened the allotment up to the fresh air. So I'm quite interested to see what everything looks like. Well, the polytunnel looks okay. Everything's a little bit damp in here, 99% humidity when I came in, which is probably no surprise given how early it was in the morning. Brassicas are doing okay in this sort of conditions, but we're losing a lot of lettuces, and in particular we're losing these, which are freckles, and it's unusual because these are usually my hardest lettuces, but they like it cold, not warm and damp, and that's what they've been experiencing, warm and damp. And I'll show you the other issue, green fly. I've just cleared some plants out, so you can see lots of green fly on the ground, so not good. So I'm going to have to do some work on this, get rid of this green fly. I'll be pulling these lettuces out in maybe 3 weeks time and replanting them, so it's no big deal, but this time of year we need every lettuce that we've got. It's the main spinach bed we've been harvesting from, so it never looks particularly impressive, and it's the same with these GRENOBLE reds. These are the ones we've been harvesting most, so they're really small little plants, but they're just about keeping up with us. But this is what this video is really about. Everything. At first glance, these lettuce beds look really great, but on closer inspection you'll see quite a lot of leaf damage. So it's not the cold, it's just the damp, I think, on these leaf tips where they're most vulnerable. So hopefully they'll grow out of it. But these really are just for January and February, and then we switch over to beds like this one here. And this is one of our main lettuce beds, and again we've got freckles here, and again it's not doing so well. Ironically, it's actually doing slightly better than the stuff in the polytunnel, but it's still not great. You can still see, look here, lots and lots of damaged leaves. This bed here though is full of spring onions, and they're doing really nicely, and the Roxy at the other end is doing much better. So I've got to say, I've been actually really pleased with Roxy this year. We've been harvesting this bed since late September time, and to a large extent it's stayed in really good condition. Last year, which was colder, the Roxy didn't do so well. This year, damper but warmer, the Roxy did really well. So it's all about different varieties thriving in different conditions, so that's why it's useful to have probably at least 4 different varieties on the go. I'm really pleased with my early onion bed. I don't need very many early onions. This is plenty for us, because it's only really to last us from sort of late May until late July. And they're multi-sown these into little clumps of 3, so there's a good harvest of onions in here. Chard's also doing pretty well this year. This hasn't had any real cover on it other than that little mesh cover there, which really is just to keep the worst of the wind off it. But again, it's done better because it's not been as cold this year, and of course we've been picking all the good leaves off, so the plants are really small. And these 4 beds are doing pretty well. We've got some little lettuces in here that again they won't last us very long, these, because we're going to be clearing this bed for early brassicas probably about March time, so we'll really just be eating these lettuces in probably February and March. We'll interplant the brassicas in here so that we can continue eating the lettuces while the brassicas are little. This red RUBLE baby leaf kale that's done really nicely for us We planted this in September. We've been eating it mostly in smoothie mixes ever since, and yeah, it's just really prolific. I've been really happy with it. And the early beetroot and interplanted with spring onions down there, they're doing pretty well. And the spinach is doing well. We've taken our first harvest off this last week, I think, and yeah, it's bringing back to life quite nicely. So I'm pretty confident that by February we should be getting a decent harvest off the spinach beds. And I got more early beetroot in here, but it's interesting. I don't know whether you can see, but there's masses of little seeds coming up. And this bed was previously New Zealand spinach, so I think these are all New Zealand spinach, and they're tender, so they won't stand a frost. So I think we're going to get a frost tonight, so maybe they'll all die off, which will be pretty good and save me a bit of weeding. And there's another spinach bed. Again, we took harvest off that last week, and again it's springing back to life, so it's pretty good. Although dastardly slugs, look, everywhere. And the winter density that I planted end of December, I think it was, all looks to have established really well. I've only just lost one plant just there, and a bit more salad. And I'm really quite pleased with my little spring cabbages. Some of them are getting slightly eaten, so I'm guessing there must be some slugs in there as well. That's no surprise. And some more over there. It's interesting to compare the size of those spring cabbages with these. These are basically the same batch, but these were planted out a little bit earlier, whereas I let those others stay inside the polytunnel for a bit longer before I planted them out. And then of course we've got our wonderful what is it called? Corn salad, and I should be picking some of that for my salad today. So I hope you liked seeing all the little beds springing to life there. I sure did. And yeah, lots of people have asked me, you know, it's a seaside allotment, but we never see the seaside. So yeah, here's a sample of seaside pics for you.